Welcome back to another vlog. Thanks for tuning in. I have an 06 H2 behind me today. I'm going to go over the process where we got it converted to that Duramax, pushed it through the process with California so we can have that registration, all important process through the H1s and the H2s, going from diesel to diesel on the H1 and gas to diesel on the H2. This particular vehicle behind me already has turned 184,000 miles. Another great reason why the Duramax swap is such a valid upgrade, because you get to breathe new life in an old unit like something like this. 185,000 miles, you could say that this thing has already paid for itself. Now reinvesting in it, it's got the value back in it, it's got the performance in it to really turn another 100, 200, 300, 400,000 miles. So the California bar has really stepped up the restrictions and the amount of work it takes to get these things California approved. Before it used to be maybe a 2-week process, 3-week at most. Now it's a 2 or 3 month process. Now we have to take the vehicle down to the dealership. It spends a day or two there, whatever their schedule permits, where they look over the computer coding, tuning, to make sure that is accurate for the 06 LBZ that's in this 06 H2. When that's complete, I send that information plus the pictures of some of the other work that's been done on the vehicle to a virtual inspection that I have to set up through the bar. When that has been approved and reviewed, a few weeks later, they'll give me an opportunity and an appointment to go down to actually get the physical inspection, where they'll literally climb over this truck, inside, outside, under fuse boxes, looking to see how it was done and making sure we adhere to every one of their policies. Breathing new life into these vehicles that are all but done at this point and put out to pasture. The 6-liter in here is very tired of the 184,000 miles are on it. Now with the 6.6 under the hood, it's ready to go. Let's walk around, get inside the engine bay and show you how this thing looks when it's converted. So here we are in the engine bay of this 06 H2. I'm very proud of the way we do it at Predator. I personally was a tech for many years. I converted half a dozen of these, so I know what goes into it. I know what this entails. This process for the H2 is probably twice as involved as the H1. You notice we've got a new cross member up here, that core support. That enables us to mount the intercooler radiator combo that's up there. The H2 didn't have any room for that, didn't have an intercooler. So we have to pretty much change that whole front nose, that whole front clip to allow for that intercooler radiator combo to be installed. We still retain the hood lock, so you'll see it has full function, security for your investment under the hood, still farming enough real estate to be able to allow for the other components that are crucial for that turbo on the Duramax. I think this looks like a factory fit and finish, the way GM would do it if they ever would look across that lot years ago and see the popularity of the HD truck, apply this powertrain to the H2, which was popular in its day, but they didn't. That's why Predator steps up and picks up the pieces there. For this to be compliant in California, obviously it needs a full system, the full EGR system that's in here. The LBZ has that round cylinder EGR. They look at that. Obviously, that's one of the first and foremost components they look at. They're looking at the down tube, make sure that's the right diameter tubing, all the way out to even critical on the location of the cat. Has to be the same distance from the back of the turbo that it was in the Silverado. Realistically, you need to make this portion here exactly like that of the 06 LBZ equipped Chevy or GM Silverado or Sierra. On the 08, 09 model of the H2, which came equipped with the 6.2 from factory, they have a different OS system and a different way the IPC, the instrument panel cluster, communicates. So we have to go with the LML motor, not the LBZ that you see here in front of you. That's when the year of Isuzu/Chevy went ahead and changed the communication out of that ECM to work and interact with the vehicle in that manner. So it was maybe 6-7 years ago when I took an H2 down, and it'd been a while since we'd taken one down. And I had the fortunate timing to when I was at the referee getting inspected, the main manager was there. A gentleman that's usually based out of Sacramento. And right away he came out and he said, it's not gonna happen, red flag it. The intercooler is one of the main features that they had problems with. because it was modified because the headlight buckets on the H2. Talked about it with him, and then also went out to a Silverado that was on site there. One of the students had a truck, and we looked at that intercooler, compared the two. He checked off on the process, saw that we are not enhancing the function of the intercooler, mostly adapting it to the platform needs itself, and he reached out to Sacramento and pushed that through. From then on, we've had a great relationship moving forward. They really recognize and acknowledge the process we have of getting our EU sticker for our conversion. It will be accepted from the state as soon as it's completed from Predator Motorsports down here in San Diego. So just getting that Duramax Allison 6-speed in there really changes the game on this vehicle. Makes it a daily driver, makes it something to where your fuel economy, for one, almost double. Your 0 to 60 almost cut in half. It's just a performing vehicle, and the Duramax powertrain is so quiet, you're still retaining that luxury drive you get out of the H2 platform. Now we're in the H2, we're heading back to the shop. Already missed the beach, but what can you do? This has a mild tune. It's around 420 to 440 horsepower. Because it's not paired with that stage 4 transmission that I really do strongly push. But the way we built this engine, it's equipped internally supported with ARP head studs, main studs, and then it's got those manifolds that I promote heavily also. The reason I push all those on a build like this, it's really destined to just be a cruiser, is because if you did want to improve that power, it's, again, internally supported. You could drop another turbo in there, maybe swap out some injectors, and start picking up that power, 550, a bit more than that if you want to do some tuning. Did the first step, got the power in there. You can pick away at it later, upgrade that transmission so it has a bit more capacity to it, capabilities, and pick up that tune, getting that, 5.5 horsepower out of it. I'm clipping along 2,000 RPM, right around 75 miles an hour on the I-5 South, coming out Oceanside, heading down to the shop. And again, it's just quiet. It's not what a lot of people presume a Duramax powered H2 to be. They think it's going to be loud, it's going to be bulky, it's going to be heavy. No, this thing's nimble. The platform has some weight to it. Again, going back to the way it was engineered, H2 is built stout. Now it has the powertrain that it really needs in there to make it all that it can be. One perk I forgot to mention on all of our conversions, every single one of them is a body off, frame gets steam cleaned, pressure washed, and then painted. It gives us a chance to really inspect that frame front to back, tip to tail, to report back to the customer what we see, trouble spots, issues, or services that we need to offer on the vehicle. That wraps up the H2. Stoked to be out in front of the camera again. Hope to be out here more, sharing more builds. We've got a couple bangers coming out. Wagon, which has got a very classy interior, a soft top that you guys will just get a kick out of. It just looks like a pit bull. Tons of power. The lightweight soft top H1 is just a blast. So that's all coming. Stay tuned. Hit the subscription and notification. Thank you.